So thanks everybody for joining. Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy to be here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. My name is Lori Obazinski, and I am here with Afton. And Afton is our account manager for Salon Marketing Services Pro. And so Afton, thanks for being here.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So today we are covering 3 marketing myths that are costing you appointments. And we are, of course, right at the beginning of holiday season. And so sharing these today are going to help you with making sure that you don't have some of that extra white space on your appointment books and that you are utilizing all of your time and all of your service providers effectively. So we're gonna just get started here. Make sure. So what we're going to cover today is how to drive consistent leads into your business without the ad fatigue. We're going to talk about SEO tactics and helping to keep your business visible. And then also how to review those campaigns to make sure that you're getting retention and that those customers are coming back. We do not have Brian on with us this morning, but Afton is here for all of our expertise, and then myself. So Afton, should we jump right in?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So the first myth that we talked about is number one, one ad, sorry, is enough to keep my chairs full. And this is false. Afton, you want to talk through why this is false, why we need more than one ad?
Yeah, I mean, one evergreen ad isn't going to cover, all of the bases basically because intent and timing all vary. Like a balayage shopper or like a last minute men's cut, even like a first time extensions client, they're all going to respond to different offers, different images, different landing pages. Each person is unique, just as, each salon is unique. So if, one generic ad really tries to cover everything, all of those bases, relevance drops and, costs rise and you might, at the end of the day, miss bookings. So, seasonal promos and refreshed like creative, they keep performance up and keep like ad fatigue down.
Mm. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
What targeting mixes like would you recommend?
Yeah, that's kind of like a three-tier answer there. So there's service-based ads. So that's going to be like, color extensions, smoothing, men's grooming, things of the nature. And then there's promotion-led ads as well for like seasonal moments, back to school, holidays, wedding season, everybody's favorite. And then there's also like lookalike audiences. So from like current high value clients to more people who, book like they do, which is another big, add to us being part of your salon software is we can go in and look at what your ideal client profile looks like. And then we can always, go in and target those lookalike audiences. So it's just like a really smart way of using the data that you already have to find more people who are very, very likely to love your salon and become repeat clients.
Perfect. Love that. Where should these ads be landing?
Yeah. So this is like on like service specific landing pages. It's super duper important that mirror the search or the ad message. So like, just like, for example, like, Brazilian blowout near me lands on your your smoothing page, not your home page. So that way, like messages match, reduce like bounces and improved conversion. You want them to, see the specific landing page that mirrors their search or, their intent essentially.
Got it. Right, like your point, if they're looking for Brazilian blowout, you don't want that promotion on your extensions page, right? Because we
Yeah.
want to match what they are actually looking for. And
Bingo.
then with retargeting, we know that sometimes these customers are looking for different salons, they're looking at different services, they might just be looking around. How do we approach retargeting without sort of being super annoying?
Yeah, so we follow the salon buyer's journey all the way from like click to, like browse style, like gallery, pricing, things like that. And then we retarget with social proofs. So like before and after, reviews, things like that. And like limited time promos and like easy booking CTAs, things like that, and then frequency caps as well to to keep that short windows, keep it helpful and not spammy, while still making sure that we're keeping your salon top of mind, and it's obviously greatly increases the chances of that like initial interest actually turning into an actual booking.
Awesome. If somebody was already running ads, what would be like a quick win?
Yeah, so as far as a quick win, I would split that into three. Your top service, your best seasonal offer, and a new guest special. Each one with its own landing page and its own creative. So, you'll usually see like a much faster lift than trying to like fix a like one like catch all kind of tactic essentially.
Awesome. All right. So, first myth covered right here. One ad is not enough for your entire business unless you are only doing one service in your business, right? You need to make sure that you're customizing those for your services, for your specific client types, etc. All right. So, oh, sorry, I just missed this one. Targeting as lookalike audiences, using promotional ads such as your holidays or anniversaries or back to school specials, things like that, service types and the demographics of your clients. All right, so myth number 2 is that SEO is set it and forget it. And SEO really needs ongoing work. And so the search signals and user behaviors shift all the time because clients are looking for different things, trends change, different clients are searching in different ways. And you also need to make sure that your website content, your Google business profile, if those things sit unchanged, like maybe you do it one time and then you just leave it for who knows how long, it sets in what we call as rank decay, and where your competitors are sort of updating and refreshing their websites around you, and yours is just sort of sitting stagnant. SEO for salons is not just a one-time checklist. You can't put everything on there one time and then walk away from it and leave it. It's not set it and forget it, like a lot of our other automations are within software. It's really like maintaining your inventory or your retail shelves. You want to make sure that you are keeping it fresh and keeping it updated and current so that more customers come in and see it and see that it's updated and current, and then they build a little more trust within you. Secondly, AI overviews and chat assistants and how they change salon SEO. And what it really is doing is it's amplifying your organic signals. And so brands that complete their Google business profiles and keep those up to date with their services, their hours, their duration of timing, and keeping up with asking for client reviews are going to have more presence, and they're more likely to surface when customers are using things like AI or Chat GPT or Gemini or whatnot, because you're keeping those things refreshed. Also, something to consider is we talk about responding to Google reviews all the time. And so when you are responding using some keywords that you want customers to find, that also impacts your SEO. So keep that in mind when you're responding to your reviews, because You can use AI for responses. You can make it very generic. You could just go on and just say, thanks for the review. But if you go on there and you say, hey, Afton, thank you so much for your kind review. We loved that your balayage turned out as beautiful as you had expected, and using some of those keywords that you want people to find when they're searching for your business will also help impact your SEO. Next, when we're talking about updates to your page, things that are going to kind of move the needle a little bit faster, things that you want to see on your page is intent first service pages. So for example, balayage in Baton Rouge or whatever city you're in, color correction in Detroit. You're trying to put on your page the things that your customers are searching for. So as a customer, I might be searching for best balayage near me. And so you want those things to pop up on your website for what customers are searching for. So FAQs that would mirror your customers' questions. So if they were calling and they ask things like, how long does it take for a toner? You want to be able to have that information on your website already for those services specifically. You also make sure that your pricing is transparent and listed correctly. Even if you have a range of pricing, so maybe based on the service provider, it might range from $50 to $150. You want to make sure that that is transparently listed on your website somewhere. And then also your before and after galleries, you want to make sure that your photo galleries are up to date, that you're asking your team for more photos when they come in, and just keeping a library of those things so that you can update those images on your website so that if somebody is looking for balayage or extensions, that they have some examples that they're seeing on your website there. So constantly ask your team for those, updating those, switching those out. And then you can also add those pictures right onto your Google business profile as well. If you ever look at those, you want to make sure that those images are also being refreshed. And then lastly, around SEO is sort of a monthly checklist of things that you want to make sure that you're constantly looking at. Again, because SEO is not set it and forget it. You really want to make sure that you have some checks and balances in place. So some core web vitals, if you will, is making sure that you're checking your links. If you have links on your website somewhere that lead to other pages or other places, you want to make sure that you're checking those frequently to make sure that they're all working and nothing is broken. You want to make sure that your website is linked back to your Google business profile again. So if they click from Google, click to your website, is that link working? And that's all updated. Make sure that your mobile sites are loading and that it's also quick and that you want it to be, loading very quickly. Because some of those small fixes over time are going to just compound for you, and it's going to make the user experience for your clients that are looking for a service, whether it be an existing client or potentially a new client, you want that pre-visit experience to be really smooth and seamless, and for them to have as much information about you as possible before they even step foot in your salon. Did I miss anything on SEO, you think?
I think that you about covered it.
Let's see, SEO, your Google AI overview. ChatGPT currently is listing about 20 to 25% of overall searches. And then your search intent, we kind of talk about that, of just making sure that those things match what your customers are asking for or the services that you're offering. All right, and our third myth is that great stylists alone can guarantee repeat clients. And this is probably one of the biggest myths, I feel like, in the salon. We feel like, oh, our service providers are amazing. They can do it. They're going to come back because they loved that person. They loved the result, whatever it is. But this is indeed false. And that every satisfied client also need reminders and nudges to make sure that they're coming back. So Afton, if they do love us and we expect that they're coming back, why aren't they?
Yeah, great question. And the answer is, I mean, many often like intend to. It's just, then life happens. People move, their circumstances change, whatever it might be. But at the end of the day, nudges win. making sure that you've got, automated text messages and email reminders, tied to service cadences. Just for example, like tone and gloss, 6 to 8 weeks, men's cuts, 3 to 4, et cetera, et cetera. And then also like retargeting people who viewed. And really, honestly, one of the best parts about retargeting campaigns is they're often just like pennies per impression. So it's, far cheaper than other, pay-per-click tactics a lot of the time. And then also like, review requests are absolutely huge right after that appointment, which go out automatically, no extra lift from you or the team. But reviews are absolutely huge in local SEO, especially. So not only having a steady trickle of those positive reviews coming in, but also making sure that they're promptly responded to, all directly, improve your search results. So yeah, just a few things to notate there.
You mentioned sort of the text message or emails too. And in the software, we have something called frequency alerts. And those alerts get in front of clients when they're due back for those services within those durations of time. So every 6 weeks, if it is, or every 3 weeks, if it is, 12 weeks even, but it gets that nudge in front of your clients so that you're not being the annoying one calling them or texting them. It's just automatically sent out for you and gives those gentle reminders to your clients to get in. So why everybody talks about reviews and we know that they're important, but why are they so critical for businesses to have reviews?
Yeah, I mean, they're, essentially digital word of mouth that feed directly into not only Google, but also all of these new AI systems as well. Because our SEO approach now also includes AIO. But, volume, recency, star rating, and also, as I, mentioned earlier, not everybody realizes the importance, but like owner responses as well, they all, correlate with visibility in that map section, which, as we all know, the map section gets tons and tons and tons of clicks. Also, responses also signal that, you're an alive business, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, and a review recommendation, we mentioned response from the owner, but that ties back into the SEO part that I mentioned too of use some of the keywords that you want people to find in those reviews. You can find a way to build that in somehow. And also, it's recommended that the owner respond within 24 hours of the review that was given. So even if you have a manager or somebody that you have, given access to log in and respond on your behalf of the owner, you definitely want to make sure that you're seeing those reviews, responding within 24 hours, and using some of those keywords that you want people to be finding. Do you have any tips for scaling review responses?
Yeah, definitely like template the voice, and I would definitely recommend like letting AI draft those first passes just so that way, you guys aren't having to come up with like a million new pleasantries a day, especially as you're getting more of that steady trickle of positive reviews coming in. And then that way you just approve. And then, prioritize recency. Also, make sure and mention the service. That's a big one. Like, hey, so glad that you came in for your balayage. Also, another, big recommendation would be invite in that next step. So, hey, we'll see you in 8 weeks for your, gloss refresh, whatever it might be. Those are all, might seem small, but in the grand scheme of things are going to have a very big impact.
Yeah, and those are adding in those keywords that we're
Mhm.
talking about in those reviews, which is awesome. So what's your basic play for keeping clients to come back? Like obviously you just mentioned see you in 8 weeks for your refresh or whatnot, but what are some other basics that you could rely on for getting customers back in the door?
Yeah, I mean, I like to look at it as kind of like a 90-day life cycle. You've got your review request going out. Then, a couple days later, maybe we've got, email featuring their service category. And then, couple days down the road, couple weeks down the road, we've got, style care content as well, which, clients always really appreciate. Then, soft reminders, making sure we're keeping, top of mind, things like that. And then, always like promotions. You can do like test drive offers. And then of course, roughly like 60-day, we're looking at like hard reminders with that like 2-click booking. So just making sure that, you're staying on top of them and you're keeping your salon top of mind, throughout the entire, continued relationship.
So it could go, let me just play an example. So you could just came to my salon, you left, I could immediately send you like a thank you for coming in for your service. It was so good to see you. If you loved your service as much, we would love, for you to leave us a review to share with others. That's immediate, right? Thank you for coming in and please leave us a review. And then it could say, maybe you share your before and afters with that client because you're also encouraging the client to share those on their own social media or in their own places too, which is also going to generate potentially new business. But maybe you're sharing that, maybe you're putting it out on social media as well. And then like 30-day care content, that could be like, hey, Afton, maybe you didn't buy the product. Hey, want to check in, see how things are going. Here's the products that I recommended for you while you were in. Here's the link to where you could buy it, which directs them back to your e-commerce store. So if they didn't buy it, or if they did buy it, it's just checking in. Hey, how is the product working for you? How's the, your hair color looking for you? Just a check-in, right? Essentially. Then 45 days, depending on what the service is, they may or may not be ready for that soft check-in yet or that soft reminder yet. But at that point-ish, you're going to be really saying like, hey, just checking in if they don't have a future appointment book where, give them a date reference or a time frame reference, because I could say often Thanksgiving is in 4.5 weeks or Christmas is in 6 weeks. We want to make sure that you're in right before that or whatever things are coming up. Or maybe you told me that you have some vacations coming up or weddings that you have to go to, right? I want to use those timelines in my soft reminders so that I give you a destination of time essentially, right? And then around 55 to 60-day, you're saying maybe there's a promotion. Maybe if you still haven't booked with me and you don't have anything on the schedule yet, I might want to nudge you with a promotion. Maybe you come in for a balayage all the time, and maybe I'm saying, hey, it's a free glaze color gloss or glaze toner or whatever with X service booked, or it could be a promotion on retail with service booked, whatever it is that you find is working in your salon. But we're kind of setting milestones to stay in front of our clients in between those services. Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Love that. I think I probably missed some slides on here. Okay, on your online reputation, we're talking about your digital word of mouth. Because this is where people are coming to find you and people are looking for that word of mouth. We know that people look for services on TikTok. We know they look for it on Instagram Maps. We know that they're using Chat GPT in your online activity. So whatever your customers are searching for, we want to make sure that you're able to find those things either in your reviews, on your Google business profile, etc. And then fuel on the digital marketing fire. So we talk about that a little bit. So how to put all these things in action. So Afton, you talk to salon owners all the time about their marketing, websites, whatnot. What does the consultation typically look like?
Yeah, so what we'll do is on before the meeting, I'm gonna, prepare, I'm gonna go in and look at the website, look at it from like a technical SEO standpoint, as far as, what's speaking Google's language, what maybe, has some coding issues, things like that. Also just like website traffic, and like which pages actually like earn visits essentially. Your local map visibility radius by service. So I can go in and show you like exactly where you're ranking for particular keywords in your area, things like that. Also, just like site performance overall. And then like, as far as like what we would do in the long term is we can set up like a click to payment dashboard so that you guys could see like not only just leads as far as like, how many people are clicking, etc., but like also, another big pro of us being part of your salon software is we can tie this actually back to revenue. So, on your dashboard, you can directly see I invested X, and I got Y back. And we can, get super granular with that as far as, by audience, by campaign. And then we'll also like recommend like a focused mix across, digital ads, SEO visibility, as well as online reputation. So a lot of different tactics that we can take as far as, long-term plays, shorter term plays, things of the nature.
Yeah, ultimately, I think we're trying to leverage the systems that clients are on currently, right? So if people are online, we spend most of our time with a phone in our hand, with a Google or social media browser, something in our hand constantly. And so by utilizing all of these things, we're trying to get in front of those new customers. We're trying to let them see your business, find your business, whether they're searching on their own or they just happen to come across an ad or whatnot, but that they are finding your business, they are clicking your links, they are going to your website, and they become a new business lead for you. And then ultimately they book at a service, they come into the salon, they have a service done, they generate new revenue for you, right? So it kind of is a trickle effect, and utilizing all of these things is getting your business in front of these new customers. So even if you're saying like, I have new customers coming in, my chairs are essentially full. Everybody wants more. Everybody wants a bigger piece of the pie. Everybody wants to see, more customers. That's the best problem that you could have, is an overabundance of clients that you have to hire more people, or you need to have more space. There's nothing wrong with more clients, right? And that ultimately turns into more revenue. So with all of these 3 myths that we talked about, a quick recap on this is that one ad cannot carry you for every goal. SEO is not set it and forget it. It's not one and done. And that every client, even happy clients, need some of those gentle reminders, those little nudges here and there, just because life gets busy sometimes. So Afton, you do all of our consultations and meet with all of our salons. And so if you are joining us today and you would like Afton to do an analysis of your business and check out your salon's visibility and see those booking paths that clients have currently and see that they're effective, you can go ahead and grab the link. Afton, I don't see the chat on here because I'm sharing my screen. Can you drop your link in the chat for everybody?
Yeah, of course.
And then we do have a special offer for everybody coming in today. So for the first 10 that schedule with you, Afton, we're going to go ahead and waive the $5.99 setup fee, which is a really awesome deal. So excited to have that one. And then Afton, do you want to talk through some of our packages that we offer?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Let me drop this in the chat for everybody.
Thank you. Here, I can stop sharing too.
So as far as our packages, we have our kind of most basic package, which is really just about getting like the fundamentals in place. So it includes a premium website overhaul. A lot of questions I get around that is like what that looks like. So like, we have some salons that have come on board that don't have a website just yet. We've built one from scratch. We've had others that have come on board that, really loved like the look and design of their website. But they just wanted us to go in on the back end and essentially make sure that everything is speaking Google's language, making sure that it's, strategically built to generate revenue, etc. So we can do that where we maintain the same kind of design, just optimized. Or we can come in and do a full, overhaul and, completely redesign it. We've also got AI chatbots that we can put on there, which I'm happy to dive deeper into, if anybody would like to, book a meeting with me. And then we've also got SEO specific packages, which focus mainly on SEO and AIO, making sure that you're improving your visibility in Google's organic results and the map sections, as well as making sure that you're popping up on all of the, new AI-driven search tools, ChatGPT, Gemini, etc. Then we have an ad specific package, because the way that I always explain it is like, think of like SEO as the long game. It does take time to earn those spots organically, but it's definitely the most like cost effective form of marketing in the long run. Whereas like PPC or pay per click, that's like kind of putting it in high gear. So it's where you're going to get your more immediate ROI. So we've got a package specifically around that, which is we, manage all of your, like Google ad campaigns, Meta ad campaigns. That's where we, get into retargeting. Like I said, we can get very, very granular with it. And then we also, have a package that encompasses all of these things, which is essentially like adding an entire marketing department for your salon. So kind of firing on all cylinders. And yeah, I'm happy to dive into all of the different, what's included in each one and all of the different tactics that we can take. It is a very tailored approach. We also do have some add-ons, things like that, that are optional. So yeah, if anybody has any questions or anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always here to help.
That perfect. Thank you so much.
Sure.
I think we covered some of these things, and especially you mentioned the website and all that kind of thing. If
Mhm.
you, even if you have a really great website, if there's ever a point in time that you've maybe changed your service menu or done a refresh on your brand or anything like that, it's always a good time to update your website to reflect your current state of your brand and your business. So definitely going through those things. I would encourage, even if you think that your SEO and your website and everything is perfect and working really well, do an analysis anyways with Acton, just to like go through it and just verify that everything is as optimal as it can and should be. There's no harm, there's no cost in it. Just going through it, and you have some experts that specialize in these marketing fields to take that look at it for you, and with you, and going through those things and just making sure that they are spot on and A++. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Afton, thanks for running through these with us this morning. And everybody, thanks for joining. And if you have any questions or want to go through and do an analysis with Afton, her link is in the chat. So go ahead and grab that. And then our first 10 will waive the setup fee that are looking to join. So
Yeah.
everybody have a wonderful afternoon.
Thanks, everybody.
Guys, bye.